All right, so today I'm going to be talking about exfoliation. I kind of just wanted to make this video because I know that when I was first, starting to get into skincare, I knew absolutely nothing and therefore made a lot of mistakes. Still make mistakes. It's a learning process. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make this video, go through some of the basics of exfoliation and how to do it properly, at least from what I've learned, so that hopefully I can maybe help some of you avoid some of the mistakes that I've made in the past. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through some basic information about exfoliation, the different types and how to do it properly. And I'll also share a bad experience that I had with exfoliation a little later on. Quick disclaimer, I'm not an expert. I have a degree in nothing. So all of the information that I'm about to share is just general information. I can only pass on my opinions based on my personal experiences. If you have serious skincare concerns that you want to talk about or tackle, a dermatologist or doctor is a good idea. Anyway, here we go. So what is exfoliation? Very basically, it is the act of removing dead skin cells from the surface of your skin, and in this case, your face. I find that after I incorporated a proper exfoliation into my skincare routine, my skin texture got a lot better. I have a slightly drier, well, normal to dry, I guess, skin type. So when I don't exfoliate, my skin, like, makeup looks really patchy on it. It's harder to, get everything looking smooth, and it's not a nice look. I'm wearing makeup now, obviously, but I have sebaceous filaments on my nose. Chemical exfoliation will help with that over time, the appearance of those, and we'll get into that a little later. So what are the different kinds of exfoliation? There are two main types of exfoliation that I'm aware of, physical exfoliation and chemical. A physical exfoliant would be anything that has like little grains in it or little grounds. It's something that... So I've got a couple of examples here of physical exfoliants. This one is a sugar scrub. If you're going to use anything to physically exfoliate your face, I would recommend something like a sugar scrub. This one is the black sugar wash-off mask from Skinfood. So it just kind of looks like that. If you are going to physically exfoliate, sugar is one of your best options because sugar breaks down in water. Things like microbeads and pieces of, nutshells that are in some exfoliating scrubs don't break down in water. They stay the same size and they're generally pretty sharp. At least the nutshells are pretty sharp. So if you keep rubbing them over your face, you could over exfoliate your face and potentially damage the surface of your skin, which will take you a while to recover from. I don't recommend using the beads because those are usually made of microplastics and they're bad for the environment. I did once upon a time try that St. Ives apricot scrub, and it was so long ago I honestly can't remember how well it worked, but I definitely do remember being very rough on my skin. I have since discovered other methods of exfoliating, so I don't use those. I wouldn't recommend it. There are a lot of... If you do choose to physically exfoliate, there are better options out there that aren't as sharp, And I also use this. This is just baking soda of the Arm & Hammer variety. Just loose in a little container for convenience. and I like this one because the grains are really fine. You know what baking soda looks like. I actually slightly prefer using baking soda because not only does it break down and dissolve in water, but the grains are a lot more fine, so it offers a smoother exfoliating experience, I guess, at least to me. So when I use it, I oil cleanse my face first, and before I rinse the oil cleanser off, I just dip my finger in it like this, and whatever sticks to my finger, literally that much, just whatever sticks to my finger. And I'll just sort of quickly rub it across my nose and right here where I tend to get the most dry patches. I'll rub it gently around for maybe 20 seconds and then rinse everything off, and then go in with my my foam cleanser. I don't physically exfoliate very often at all. Every once in a blue moon, I will, because I personally just, I like the feeling of it. Every now and then, I want to feel something scrubbing my face. So yes, this is physical exfoliation. Anything that you physically rub over your face and scrub it with. These are the two that I use. Yeah, if you are going to physically exfoliate, I definitely recommend using something that will dissolve easily in water. Next is chemical exfoliation, and chemical exfoliation is basically acid. It's different kinds of acid that when they're applied to the skin, they work to sort of dissolve and break down the dead skin cells, and they work their way into your pores and really push out excess dirt and sebum. There are two main kinds of acids that you would use, and be an AHA, alpha hydroxy acid, and a BHA, a beta hydroxy acid. They're both exfoliating agents, but they exfoliate in slightly different ways. An AHA is actually a little better for someone with slightly drier skin like me, because an AHA is really good at sort of dissolving the skin cells on the surface of the face, making it nice and smooth. It also, I'm not sure on this, I don't know the actual science of this, but I have heard that when you use an AHA, it actually helps your skin retain moisture and hydration better. So from what I understand, AHAs are a good option for somebody who has concerns with dry patches or dry skin on their face. BHAs are a oil soluble acid. So BHAs work better at they sink a little bit deeper into the skin, and they're a little bit better at really pushing out the dirt and sebum that's a little deeper inside your pores. BHAs are really good at helping with the sebaceous filaments. I have, the pores are quite large, and I have quite a few prominent sebaceous filaments on and around my nose. And BHAs actually have been proven to help with the appearance and severity of sebaceous filaments over time. Here's a couple of my preferred AHAs. These are what I use on a regular basis. This is my preferred way to exfoliate. Like I said, every now and then I will physically exfoliate. It's kind of satisfying sometimes to just feel something scrubbing your skin, but this actually is my preferred way to exfoliate normally. I add an exfoliating step into my skincare routine at least twice a week, sometimes 3, because I don't want to overdo it, and I'll get into that a little later. But this is a couple of my favorite AHA exfoliants. They're both Mandelic Acid. This is by Wishtrend. It's just like a little, I don't know if you can see it in there, it's like there we go. It's called a skin prep water. So it's basically an exfoliating toner, It's at a 5% concentration. And the other one is also Mandelic Acid. This is a 10% concentration with hyaluronic acid mixed in from The Ordinary. This one is actually really affordable. And this one is also a really, it's like a watery consistency. You can see it in there. And it just kind of, there we go. Just in a little dropper like that. So all you need is like, well, all I need is like 3 or 4 drops maybe. I'll drip it for you on the back of my hand because I'm a YouTuber. There we go. There you go. It's like a really watery consistency. Just kind of rub it in like that. Pat over it and leave it. Then I prefer to kind of just let it sit on my face for a couple minutes and kind of soak in real good before going in with the next step, whether that be a hydrating essence, serum, whatever I'm using that day. And yeah, this is completely, it's completely soaked in now. It has left a little bit of a hydrating feeling to it because of the hyaluronic acid and the couple of the other ingredients in there that offer some hydration. With that Wishtrend exfoliating toner, it's the same kind of idea. And for BHAs, there we go. This is the BHA Blackhead Power Liquid from COSRX. And this is the Lemon Sparkling Peeling Pads by Secret Key. They're both Korean brands. I'll list everything that I'm showing you down in the description box below, by the way, just in case you're curious and want to check them out. I actually prefer this one over the other one. This one, I bought these a long time ago. I use them just to get rid of them because I'm not a wasteful person, but I prefer not to use pads like this just because they're kind of bad for the environment and they're pretty unnecessary actually. When you can just get something like this, pump it into your hand and rub it over your face, it does the same thing. So it kind of smells like Mr. Clean. I don't find that having the lemon in there is helpful at all. But I wanted to try them out. I was curious and they were on sale, so I bought these. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. But yeah, I do prefer this one. You'll obviously get a lot in there. The main ingredient in both of these products is salicylic acid, which is a BHA. And what I actually usually do, for me personally, because I figured out what works for me, everyone is different, keep that in mind, but what I do is I mix the two because I like and I'm looking for the effects of both. So I like that that an AHA works really well on the surface of my skin because I have a drier skin type. It really helps to even out the texture of my skin, make it nice and smooth. It's really good at that. And this one, I like that it goes deeper into my pores and really pushes out anything that may be, sort of congesting my pores. And it also helps with the appearance of those sebaceous filaments that, they're not a big deal, but if I can make them a little less obvious, why not? There are other products. You can get exfoliating products in other formats. You can get lotions and creams that have exfoliating properties. I believe CeraVe has a salicylic acid lotion and cream. And I know there are a bunch of Korean brands that do a similar thing. For me personally, I prefer doing my exfoliating step earlier on in my skincare routine. I don't know why, I just prefer it that way. But if for your skincare routine you would rather apply your exfoliant as one of the last steps, there are options out there for you. You can also get salicylic acid cleansers. I know COSRX has one. Anyway, so I prefer to kind of use like an exfoliating toner. I kind of prefer to chemically exfoliate during that stage of my skincare routine and then apply other products on top of it. And that brings us to story time. And it's actually, it's a little embarrassing because this actually didn't happen that long ago. This happened at the beginning of this year, January, I think. A few months before Christmas last year, I was buying some items at a Shoppers Drug Mart. I paid for my stuff over the cosmetics desk instead of walking all the way over to the regular checkout because I'm lazy. So the lady at the checkout was nice enough to give me a couple samples with my purchase, and one of them was was a chemically exfoliating cream. I didn't know that at the time. I just grabbed this. I said thank you, took the samples, shoved them in my bag. When I brought them home, I just put them in my skincare basket, and I didn't think about it for the longest time. Fast forward to January of 2020, and I was rummaging through my things, reorganizing the products that are in the basket, and I came across the samples. So I finally looked at it. I took a look at it, and I was like, hey, this is a chemical exfoliator. I know what that is. I should use this because this sample, it looks like it's from a really good, like a sort of like a posh brand, you know? And the product was, I have the package right here. I saved it. I've been saving it all this time because I wanted to share this at some point. It was the Neostrata Resurface Glycolic Renewal Smoothing Lotion with a 10% of AHA. This little guy right here. He's empty now, but boy did I use him up. Boy did I use him up. So I popped this guy open and I sort of read the back. And see, this is a problem that I have with companies that market products like this, because I forgot to go over this earlier in the video, but chemically exfoliating, depending on the concentration you use and what your skin is like, it can be very hard on your skin, especially if you do it too often. If you're chemically exfoliating too much, if you have too many steps in your skincare routine that have exfoliating properties, or if you're just using too much of one product too often, you will completely obliterate your skin barrier, and you're gonna have a fun time trying to recover from that. I read the instructions on the back, and I'm gonna read it out for you because this is actually kind of misleading. It says, wait, no, where's the instructions? Blah, 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 give the ingredients. Where's the instructions? That was the whole point of this. It must have been on the top part that I ripped off. I'll try and find the instructions on how to apply this online somewhere and insert them here if I can. But basically what it said was that you can apply this every single day. And this is a 10% AHA. As someone with dry skin who needs an exfoliating step in their skincare routine, this is a 5% concentration of Mandelic Acid, which actually has a, like the size of the actual acid molecules is bigger in Mandelic Acid than it is in glycolic acid. So this actually exfoliates more gently. I find that this used 2 to 3 times a week for me is more than enough. This is a 10% AHA, and they tell you on the back to use it that you can use it daily. I read that and I took them at their word, and I was like, oh, cool. Okay, so I'll start using it. I figured that because I've used chemical exfoliating products in the past, at that time I was using these more often. Prior to using the exfoliating pads, I was using the COSRX AHA BHA exfoliating toner. It comes in a little spray bottle. That is an extremely gentle formula, and I hadn't used it in a while. I figured I would be fine. I thought that because it is marketed as an exfoliating pad, so my skin has built up a tolerance, right? Wrong. I was wrong. But I didn't know that until it was too late. So I started using a little bit of this on my face as one of the last steps of my skincare routine. I figured that to be on the safe side, I would build up my skin's tolerance anyway, and I would take it easy. Instead of using it every day, I used it every second day. So I did that for a week, then for a second week. And by the end of the second week, my skin was starting to kind of get really bumpy. I would look in the mirror and I would see all these little bumps on my cheeks, and I was like, huh, maybe my skin is purging, which is a thing that happens sometimes. I don't recall skin purging ever happening to me, but I had never used specifically a glycolic acid before. So I figured, like, hey, maybe that's what's happening. This is awesome. This is just going to be temporary. These little spots are just my skin purging all of its impurities. And then after a week or two of this, my skin's going to clear up and it'll be fine. So I kept using it. They had given me 2 of these, and a little bit goes a long way because it was a pretty watery formula. I used this for a couple more days, and then my skin started to get really sensitive. Like, extremely sensitive. The little dots got worse. It almost looked like hives on my face. There was sort of like a blotchy red tone underneath the little spots, and my skin was beginning to get pretty sensitive, and it would tingle when I applied the lotion. Now, a slight tingling sensation when using lawnmower. A slight tingling sensation when you're using a chemical exfoliant is not uncommon, but if it's anything more than a slight tingling that lasts a very short period of time, it shouldn't tingle for long. If it's anything more than tingling, if it's burning, stop using it right away. Again, I didn't. I didn't take my own advice. I used it for a couple more days, and then my skin, like, I noticed when I was, rubbing and patting products onto my skin, it was very sensitive to the touch. So I went up to the mirror and I sort of looked at my skin, and I was like, what the heck did I do to myself? I didn't understand. In my head, I knew, but I was kind of in denial because I just kept thinking, well, I sort of weaned myself onto the formula. Even though it says 10% AHA, I didn't use it every day. I used it every second, maybe third day if I forgot. I weaned myself onto it, so it should have been fine. I'm actually going to insert a couple photos here because I took some of what my face looked like. So as you can see, my cheeks are covered in little dots. My skin, like the surface of my skin, was very bumpy. It was irritated right beside my mouth. I guess in between my mouth and like my jaw area right here, there was actually some like superficial swelling here. So what I had done was I had over-exfoliated my face. I had not weaned myself onto this product as well as I thought I had, and I was overusing it. I ended up over-exfoliating my face and damaging the surface of my skin. It took about 30 days for that to sort of to heal. I cut all exfoliation out of my skincare routine. I got rid of anything with fragrance in it because I don't use many products with fragrance, but there are a few. I whittled down my skincare routine to the very, very basics. Things that I knew would give me zero irritation. I cleansed. I used an unscented toner / essence, and I used a very basic moisturizer, and that was it. And that was pretty much all I put on my skin for around 30 days until my skin kind of, healed itself. Those are the words I'm looking for. So take this as a word of caution. if you're going to be exfoliating your face at all, I definitely 100% recommend it. It's helped me immensely, but I am definitely, from that experience, I learned to be a lot more careful with what products I put on my skin and how often. So I 100% recommend incorporating exfoliation into your skincare routine. It helps a lot, especially if you wear makeup. It can greatly enhance the look and finish of your makeup, and you may actually find, as I do, that you need to use less makeup because the skin underneath has been prepped and cared for properly. So I definitely, I don't want to drag the product. That's not what I'm trying to do. It is a good product. I just find that the instructions were a little misleading, and I don't really think that this should have been handed out as a free sample without the lady explaining what it was and how to use it. I had to figure that out the hard way. So this is actually a good product. I finished using it. I was a lot more careful. I used half the amount that I was initially using, and I mixed it in with my moisturizer. So I basically took it from a 10% to a 5%, and I used it a lot less often. I think I only used it once a week. Using it in that way worked great. It worked really well. I saw results, not fantastic results, but I saw this, similar, if not the same results than I see when using things like this. It's not a bad product. I just think the instructions are a little misleading, and I didn't use it properly. And that was my error. That's why I'm making this video, so that hopefully you guys out there won't repeat my mistakes. Because trust me, it's not fun having to look at yourself every day and see the damage that you've done to your own skin because you used a product improperly. So yeah, there you go. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I missed. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll answer it if I can, or I'll try and point you towards someone who can. I personally get quite a bit of very helpful skincare advice from the YouTubers James Welsh and Hiram. I will leave links to both of their channels in the description box below as well. I find them extremely helpful if I have a skincare question. It's more than likely that one of the two of these fellows have made a video on it. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Whoa.